Raising Nashville. Raising Nashville. Raising Nashville.
Welcome to this week's episode of Raising Nashville. I'm Bucky.
Juice box. Oh boy.
Did you need to get some water before we started?
Yeah, you okay?
No, I was just finishing up this cupcake.
Well, this week we have a episode for you parents out there that might suffer from a few different things. And I was going to say, one of them, might be fear or anxiety, or there's a couple of different emotions you think about when you think of the kind of difficult road to navigate, which is the nutrition for your children. What we're feeding them, what our schools are feeding them, what they're eating when they're at friends' houses.
Yep.
And we wanted to dive into this subject for you parents out there that have small children or grown children, and you either want to reflect back or prepare for the part where you have to keep your children alive and fed up until they can do it themselves.
Right.
Which from what we've learned is about 21 years.
I'm hoping it's 18. But
Yeah, for some more than others, I think. I want to jump in and say it's even beyond just about for your kids. It's about for yourself, too. Because let's face it, there's a lot of adults out there that are still pretty poor eaters.
Yeah.
That's true. And I would love to know you guys' definition. Just to preface this for our listenership out there, we discussed this subject and what we were going to cover, but we really didn't get into it. So when I hear words like
Nutrition.
or
Health.
yeah.
Vegetables.
I feel like I'm being attacked just because of my current diet. And actually not current. It's always been there.
Okay, well, tell us what your diet is.
Well, no. I want to get into some of the facts and history before we start talking about what I consume on a daily basis and what my children and family consumes.
Did you think this was really like some sort of intervention or something?
I in the back of my mind, I'm not going to lie, I thought you guys were going to try to corner me today.
Well, so you were really speaking to yourself about suffering from fear and anxiety?
No.
Well, it kind of sounds like it.
Well, I just wanted to do that for the people out there. I'm more speaking of my decisions
right,
versus other people's decisions.
Right, and your decisions will be reflected onto your children, so we'll talk about that too.
Sure.
So, yeah, I think we're going to call this episode this week, Are You Going to Eat That?
Because I will.
Yes,
Yeah.
I was about to say that's probably going to be my answer.
And we're going to kind of just dive into how obesity has gone up about 400% or something since the 70s. And there's there's no one reason why, but there is some trends that kind of follow the obesity rate. So it's like you can kind of draw certain conclusions from it. But again, like I said, there's no one reason. And there's a lot of counterpoints to a lot of these points we'll be making too. So, make your own judgment. But we're just kind of trying to talk about it and get it in your mindset if you're not already thinking about it.
Right, yeah. Collectively bring it all together and, talk about nutrition and how to promote healthy living.
You guys have ever seen movies and TV shows where when something that gives you a good lift off of your chest happens and they wipe their brow from the sweat and everything? Mm-hmm. If you guys out there can comprehend this, that is what just happened to me. As soon as you went down the obesity route, I was like, well, this might not be too bad for me.
Okay, I don't know where. I really thought you were going to make some weird Star Wars.
No, not this week. Not this week. But
analogy. All right, good.
And it's got to reflect on our country as well.
It does.
Because we are, on average, a larger country statistically than others.
So, okay, let's just jump in with a quick little history here. I looked at some stats. I didn't go way far back, just basically to the 60s is kind of some of the stuff when I guess that's when some of the scientists or whoever started following some of these trends and tracking some of this stuff.
That's when Nabisco started.
Is it really?
No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
No.
So
that was the surge of fast food and the downfall of America. Because when I think back before the 60s, I think of my grandmother's time, and they were just growing stuff in their backyard, and that's what they ate.
yeah, exactly.
That's what I feel like.
Exactly.
You know?
Well, we're going to talk about that, preservatives in food and stuff like that, and it's how there's studies about that. Anyway, in the 60s to 70s, about 4% of kids were considered overweight or obese.
It's a very low percentage.
So, and that's, there's a gray area between what is obesity and what is considered overweight. So I think, we won't get into that too much. But anyway, from 4% in the 60s to 70s to like the turn of the century, 2000s, it went up to 16%.
Okay.
So 16% of kids, and that's 16% of kids are obese. There's another like 15% of kids that are considered overweight, which is, like I said, it's a gray area. You could be like 1 pound overweight or something, be considered that. So in total, that's about 30% of all kids in America are considered obese to overweight.
Yep.
Yeah, that's overwhelming.
It's not over. I mean, you can see it on a daily basis.
The way I picture it is do you remember the hockey team from the NES game hockey?
Yeah.
And there's 3 people.
Oh,
there's a real skinny one. There's a middle dude, and then there's a big dude. That's 1/3. That's America.
That's true. The big dude was the crusher.
So 1/3 of America crushers.
Yes, and if my family was considered on that, we would be on the opposite end of the spectrum. I would say
the skinny ones.
Yeah, they're real fast and elusive.
Okay.
All right. Are we still talking about ice hockey?
I think so.
Okay. So anyway, there's a big spike starting in the late 80s. It's honestly like it's when our parents, I hate to say this, it's kind of when our parents' generation just straight sold us out and started like marketing straight to kids. Like the mid 80s is when that stuff like just really started to ramp up. Cereals, sodas, Happy Meal,
toy
everything.
commercials.
Well, yeah, but we're talking more like just about like food in general here.
Okay.
But yeah, toys also.
Oh yeah.
So that's when that really started to ramp up, and they started like targeting these ads at us. So that's when like soda consumption went up, like processed food consumption went up. Just junk like cookies, candy, all this stuff that's just
Keebler Elves.
Nothing but sugar, basically.
But Jolt Cola.
But I mean, think about all the cartoon mascots that promote sugary bullshit, like the Trix Bunny, that fucking leprechaun, that.
So that would be the equivalent to the 70s Marlboro Man, and the reason that there was a lot of smoking increase.
I mean, exactly.
And Joe Camel.
Exactly, yeah.
So basically what you just said is we are the first fucked generation as far as nutrition goes.
I mean, more or less, because like you said, it's like, your grandmother grew vegetables in her backyard. Like my grandparents grew vegetables in their backyard. Like I remember when I was a young kid, my dad had like a big garden out back. Like it was something that you just used to do. Like you would just grow vegetables for yourself.
Sure. And let me say this. I mean, there are still a lot of people I know out there doing that.
Yeah. It's, for sure. It's just not as prevalent as it once was.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's not a necessity. Now it's more of a hobby.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Food is more accessible. And that's another one of the things a
contributor. Yeah,
a contributor is just the accessibility of food now. It didn't used to be easy to get so much stuff all the time. I mean, you can go to Kroger's, granted, whatever Kroger or Publix or whatever you go to. Ralph's, wherever you're listening to this at.
Ralph's?
That's out west.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've never heard of a Ralph's.
I mean, it's like anything. You can get strawberries year-round. You can get kiwi year-round. You can get avocados year-round. You can get anything that you want year-round.
Yeah,
sure.
It's so, and I mean, and think about where they sell food. They sell food everywhere. You go into a gas station, man, they got snacks. It's snack food. I think is a big. I feel like it made a big presence in the '80s too. Frosted donut. You walk into a gas station, it's donuts, chips,
Mountain Dew,
Sour Patch Kids.
Yeah.
So we've all got our weakness.
It's all right there. It's all compulsory. And I think there's something in our heads when you eat something that's bad for you. It's rewarding in a way.
And we didn't really have a choice, I mean, this is what our parents allowed us to have these things. They bought them for us. They made it easy. I remember growing up. I mean, I don't want to throw my mom under the bus here, but I'm pretty sure we ate Taco Bell for dinner like at least one night a week.
Well, sure,
because it was easy for them,
Yeah.
and it also became a lot more strenuous for parents because they are working more and they are, you're trying to keep up with the Joneses, so to speak, and continue to make money and work harder. And I think the three of us in this room still have that gene in us, and we do work very hard, so we look for convenience anywhere we can get it.
In the 80s, like, there was more two-parent working. Both parents were working. That was becoming more normal.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, there was less time for there to be a homemaker, whether it be the mom or dad or whatever, staying at home, making these dinners, like, getting all this stuff ready. Like, it's just, like you said, it's about convenience. And it was the same thing for us. I mean, once a week we did, like, pizza night. Like,
Sure.
ordered
Yeah.
pizza, same difference.
Every time I think of pizza in the 80s, I think of like one of the opening scenes from E.T. Like, I love that scene where they're in the house and they're all eating the pizza together. It's like when
Yeah.
he first discovers E.T. It's just that's just home to me. I mean, that's like those
Right.
commercials.
That's what we grew up with.
Yeah.
That is exactly what we grew up with.
Pepsi and Domino's.
You're absolutely
that's
right.
an awesome night. It was a great night for a kid, but we also didn't have a choice to make on that because, like you said a little bit earlier, TV and commercials told us that was a great night for kids.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
you just embraced it.
Yeah, that's what you promote. I mean, all these fast food places popped up. It's cheap. It's convenient. Parents have less time. It's being broadcast to you that's what you should do constantly. So fast food, McDonald's, Taco Bell, all that stuff. So it's a huge factor.
Yeah, and then once they get you in there, it's like that's another big thing. Like in addition to people eating more fast food, they just made a soda, like you just kind of said, they just made a soda go hand in hand with that. So that sugar consumption just went through the roof too, like in the 80s.
Yeah, and that's when it was introduced, and then consumption size has risen too. So quantity. So now the whole Biggie size me thing. Getting extra larges. I mean, shit, man, you go to Taco Bell and get a drink, man. They give you the freaking half gallon.
Yeah, here's the bucket. McDonald's does that too. If like you go and get a Coke, like sometimes I'm sorry, like McDonald's still has one of the best.
It's the
fountain
best
Cokes.
Coke.
Yeah.
Like you go there and get $1 Coke, and there you pull up, it's like giant Coke.
Yeah.
You have to specify a small.
Well,
And
I know
like,
they're
"Are you
all
sure?"
they're all $1. So I'm like, I
Yeah,
want a medium
exactly.
Coke, and she said, "Honey, you can get a double extra large for the same price."
You
and I'm
got
like,
upsold.
I don't want that.
But then they make you feel like you'd be dumb not to get this much soda. It's
Yeah.
like, well, if you put it that way.
With that being said, I've been off soda for a year and a half, which gets very good for me.
Can we give you a
That is something that consumed my life when I was a child.
Me too. Me too. My brother and I we put Coke in business, I feel like, in
Yeah.
the 80s. Like, I really do. I mean, we drank so much damn soda. But, I mean, we didn't know any better either, right? That was
Yeah.
just the way it was. But,
Yeah, if you are going to drink soda, don't drink Coke because they're like the #1 polluting company in like the world or something like that. Like they're
man, don't
they're
tell me
awful.
that.
Yeah.
You know what I did? So we don't let our kid drink soda, right? But and I've been off soda, I think now, I don't know. I drink it occasionally, but we only drink it at Christmas. And like, I'll get a Coke and I'll be like, hey,
Is it just because of polar bears? And does this go back to
Holy
ads?
shit.
kinda.
Yeah.
It probably
Yeah.
does. Well, actually, it goes back to my mom. She said for Christmas they didn't grow up with Coke. The only time they got Coke was Christmas, and I thought that was pretty cool. So
Yeah.
that's why I bring it around Christmas and we play Mario.
So far, what we're saying is like, we were the generation that are rats in a maze, and the marketing companies, which probably made, like the show's Mad Men, this is what it turned into.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like you were a guerrilla strategic marketer in the 80s, and you were going to sell as much of this triangle shaped chip that you possibly can.
Oh, are you talking about pizzerias?
No,
Oh,
but
man,
I forgot about those.
Damn, those are
fucking-
good.
Yeah, those are
No, I
great.
was referring to Doritos.
yeah.
Also delicious.
Yeah, also good.
Yeah.
See,
So-
that's a chip marketing worked on me in the 80s, man. I have a chip addiction.
I've got issues, man. I love candy. They got me with candy and chips.
Sure.
And all of it, really.
So we were the test market for all of this, basically. Our generation, if you were born in the late 70s, early 80s, we were the first generation to go through this. And now...
I mean, well, there was targeting or marketing towards kids before that, but just not as prevalent. And then also television became more of like a normal thing too. So I don't want to say that we're the first generation to be marketed towards, but heavily marketed towards, yes.
So what we are trying to do today on this podcast is to let you know that we've been through it. So one, that makes us experts because we've covered that on this podcast before. And two, we want to see if you guys out there have learned from the mistakes that you lived through and are trying to make a better future for your children in regards to their nutrition.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just going to jump into it. Like, one of the things is, people are conscious about what they're trying to feed their kids, but they're also being severely misled by marketing and by like package labeling because for some reason there's very loose regulations, I guess, through the FDA about what a package can say. Like, it could say all natural if there's like nothing natural in it. Oh boy, and I were talking about this before the podcast. Like juice, they could say like contains juice, and it could literally be like 1% of some sort of juice.
Right.
Like,
yeah. They could say
100% apple juice.
It contains real fruit, and it could be like such a small percentage of actual fruit.
Yeah.
And it might not even be the fruit that's.
No, it most likely, it's all very misleading. And then people, I don't know about you guys, like we grew up drinking juice, thinking that was good. It's like, oh, it's apple juice, it's good for you. No, there's so much sugar in that. It's like ridiculous.
You'd be better off drinking Coke.
So,
I don't know. Let's jump to conclusions.
I think we talked about this yesterday. It's not distraction. What did I say it was? It's misleading. It's misleading you. When McDonald's releases a salad, all of a sudden McDonald's has a healthy option until you find out what's in that salad.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure all of the lettuce in that salad is just sugar, and they molded together.
Yeah, well, it's always iceberg lettuce, which is like, the worst lettuce, and then it's just like piled with bacon and ranch and chicken or something.
Exactly, yeah. There's no nutritional value in the lettuce anyway, but
McDonald's has a salad.
Right. Have you ever had it?
I have not. No.
Man, we should have got that and sampled it on this.
Ooh, I don't know, man.
I would have thought it was. I probably think it was really good. It looks good.
So anyway, I just like juice is a really bad one. Like other, fruit snacks or stuff like that, like have really no nutritional value, but they're marketed that they do somewhat have nutritional value.
Oh, like Mott's all natural fruit snacks made from real organic fruit.
Get that Mott shit out of here.
We have an entire case of Mott's at our house.
I'll tell you, the best fruit snacks are the ones for $1 at Kroger's, the generic brand. The sharks. They look like sharks. Oh, they're great.
That is just sugar and food color.
I don't care.
Exactly.
I'm just telling you. I love them. So kids are watching more TV and are glued to phones and are on screens, which we've covered before also. But it also correlates to obesity and unhealthy living because kids are just sitting around instead of outside playing, outside doing things. Other environmental, I think, factors are the fact that kids used to walk to school. And did you ever walk to school?
I did walk to school.
I walked to school schools. My whole entire career.
Dang.
Until I got a car.
Dang. All right. So
until someone I knew got a car.
Yeah, I walked to school a little bit, but most of the time I was bused. So like that's more common now. I think is that kids.
Well, see, my parents lied about our address, so I could walk to school. So we lived in the neighborhood right next to the school, and for some reason, I was supposed to go somewhere else in town. And
yeah, we could have been friends for longer if that would happen. If you think about that. This is just a quick side note. The reason that walking to school and biking to school is less common now is due to killer clowns that came out in the 80s.
The movie, not an actual thing.
Sharp decline in letting your kids go anywhere.
Okay.
Yep. Just heads up. Other things we kind of talked about this. Sociocultural. Food is a reward. Hey, eat all, clean your plate, and you'll get this frickin' donut or whatever it is.
Sure.
So you're using food as a reward, and you got to think about like the way our culture views food too. We have eating contests, which is grotesque. We value food Super Bowl parties and things like that. It's just a huge food fest, and it's mostly unhealthy foods.
But you're not going to go into a party where they're making come over to this party. We're serving salad tonight.
No, exactly. No, I mean, you're exactly
We agree.
right, and that's fine. Like, I'm not saying that all this junk food just needs to be like go away or anything. It needs to be done in moderation. And I think the bigger thing is just be more mindful what you're eating or what you're feeding your kids on a day-to-day basis.
I've got this friend, and I think all of us, actually, we all share this friend together, and I thought it was funny. So he's on this very heavy workout regimen, and he eats very healthily, right? So he prepares his meals at the beginning of the week. And
Are you talking about me?
No, I'm not talking about you. And he often said, on certain times when I go over to his house, and he would have some Taco Bell or a Subway sandwich or something like that, and he would call it junking out.
Yeah.
And it always offended me because that's pretty much what I eat all the time. What he considers junking out.
I lived with this friend,
Yeah.
and I junked out with him a lot. He would always hit me up.
You just call it eating, though.
Right.
He
He'd be
calls
like,
it junking
hey,
out.
I'm gonna go junk out. You want to eat? Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
So
hold on. All right, let me keep going. Hold on. So there's some other things like you hit upon earlier. Family. When growing up, you don't choose your diet; your parent does.
Exactly.
So that's very.
So if you're a parent out there and listening to this, it's on you.
Well, I think that's what's like caused to this jump. Like, we've learned poor eating habits from our parents, or our parents taught us to eat. I'm not saying everybody, but just like things have gotten less healthy as we've gotten older, and we've just like continued on, passing that down to our kids.
Just saying it's okay. And that is what I said at the beginning of this episode was it causes fear and anxiety and, am I doing this right?
Yeah.
And that can be a scary thing. So
yes, scary. I think though that a lot of this is intuitive also. That if you're at McDonald's, you should probably eat that salad, right?
if you're at McDonald's, just admit it. You're at McDonald's.
No, I know.
Get the number 2.
You're right.
Ketchup only.
Yeah.
I think
and go to town.
I think most people know what they're eating and if it's healthy or not. And I think most people know vegetables, whole fruits, some form of protein is healthy.
Sure.
And that they know what's unhealthy. They know that chips, candy, snack food, and
refined sugars, anything with preservatives, like
Packaged.
those are the killers,
So
packaged
I got
meals.
so bad at it that there is now a list on the side of my refrigerator at home when I'm packing Asher's lunch for the day that has 4 different things that I need to put into his lunch. And I'll be the first to admit it. Like I said this a little bit earlier, you guys kind of went down the obesity route. Our family, well, at least right now, both of my children are extremely thin. And it's one of them, it's getting to the point of, almost scary. And so I don't want to play that obesity factor. What I want to play as a parent out there, and I am the voice for every one of you parents that do not have time or do not think you have enough time to sit down and actually comprehend what you're buying. Like you said earlier, the packaging says all organic, all natural. I'm just going to buy it.
It's very misleading,
and I'm not going to look into it. I'm the parent out there that just I don't even if it says organic or all natural, I'm probably not buying it. And here's the reason.
Because it's more expensive.
It says no trans fats. Fuck no.
Yeah, because it's more expensive. No, because it's not good. And let's be honest. It's just not. And I have extremely thin children right now, and all we want to do is get them to eat. So if eating is a Pop-Tart, yes, they can eat that. If eating is Go-Gurt, they can eat that. If eating is Goldfish, if eating is Cheerios, if eating is, all of these things that society tells me I should not be putting in my children, if I can put food in them, that is my end game, and that is goal. You know, we still cook. My wife still cooks dinner 3 nights a week. We're eating spaghetti tonight. We're having like homemade chicken and dumplings and things like that. But my kids are not going to eat that, and they're not going to eat more than a few bites. bites, and it's going to turn into a fight, and it's going to say, you can't get up until you eat.
Then
We're going to
you
be there
spank
45 minutes later, and then I
then
might
you
go
spank
the
one.
spank route. No, I'm not going to go the spank route. It's just food. But it's a struggle every night to get them to eat, and you got to find that pocket of what they like versus, while thinking about nutrition somewhat. So you find a few different food items, then you feed them that, and then that ends. It's every 3 days you're eating the same damn thing. So
I get your struggle. I do.
I understand it too. I think you just have to kind of be mindful, and when you're trying to get them to eat something, you got to introduce some things that are not just like processed, like junk foods. Like, because of course they're going to be drawn to the processed junk food because it tastes better.
Yeah, just like I am. I mean, I would rather eat Taco Bell than anything else.
Yeah, exactly.
But I know that it's healthy choices. So I'm with you. I'm with you on the struggle of getting your kid to try new things and to get them to eat what you've made, because we go through it too. I mean, my child, I made a list of likes and dislikes and like what she likes, what she'll eat, and how we have to kind of deal with that. But it can't be damn chicken nuggets every damn night.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
But that's true. But at the same time, it extends to restaurants and taking your family out to a restaurant.
True.
I can't tell you how much money I have spent on food that has gone uneaten at every restaurant we go to. At home, it goes uneaten, and that's just a lot of money that we're continuing spending. So now when we go to restaurants, we have to be strategic. Is he going to eat tonight, or are we just going to put this bowl of chips and salsa in front of him, let him go to town?
You're pleading with him, like, look, do you want this grilled cheese, this chicken nugget, or
Because I'm about to pay $9 for this grilled
cheeseburger?
cheese.
Yeah.
If you're not going to eat it, I don't want to spend $9 on it.
Well, that's why we named this episode. Are you going to eat that?
Yeah.
But I think it is a struggle because my kid naturally likes some of the unhealthier stuff. We've gotten pretty lucky. She does like vegetables. She loves fruit. She likes
Fruit is an exception for children. I would say that.
right.
All
it's
kids
sweet.
like fruit.
It's got good sugar.
Yeah.
But she likes some healthy stuff. She likes some bad stuff. So we try to, and something I always do. No matter what we're eating, I'm like, hey, you need to take 3 bites of this.
Yeah.
Or like, you need to try my food. And she doesn't like it, but I'm like, you need to try this spicy fried chicken.
Sure.
Or whatever. You
But
know,
the
from
older-
Bolton's-
and-
from Bolton's strap on.
What I've learned is, God. What I've learned over the years is it's also a visual thing for kids. Like, if I sit Asher down and we sit something down that he's never seen before and say, try this, he just looks at it. He's like, no. Like, and it goes so far as some kids are so picky that, if his cheese quesadilla has a couple of spots of maybe pepper or burn on the side, it's like, it doesn't look like it did before. And that becomes an argument. So I like old boy's route of, saying you need to take 3 bites of this at an earlier age. I don't think we caught him early enough.
Well, you hope that he'll grow out of it. I think I was less of a picky eater than my brother, and he, I think, grew out of it. He was like plain cheeseburger every time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then growing up,
he'd go to a Mexican restaurant and order chicken nuggets. Because that is like the cardinal sin.
Quesadilla. You know what I mean? But it was always plain Jane. And I think I probably was at the beginning too, but at some point I grew out of it, and I think he did too. So it's just, you just gotta.
I remember eating, just not a lot. I remember getting the smallest portions on like family dinners or whatever, just so I could get done eating to go back to playing.
Right.
And then I also remember my mom making me sit down there and try squash, and I would do the whole regurgitation, chunk from the Goonies, like that, and act like that, just so I can act like it's paining me, so I wouldn't have to eat anymore. And that's when you begin lying in life. That's what I've learned, is when you're faking that this is doing this to you.
I wondered, because my kid right now likes vegetables.
I grew up liking vegetables. Like, I don't know what I mean. That's how I remember it. Maybe I'm misremembering it, but we had broccoli and like carrots and like all all your staples like all the time with dinner.
I mean, there are things I didn't like, and taste changed too, because there are things I know I didn't like as a kid that I do like now.
Yeah,
sure.
And
I still don't like tomatoes.
Really?
No.
Dude, I will take all your tomatoes.
Or squash. I mean, broccoli, green beans, anything that was green, I really liked. Collard greens, like I liked all greens. Plus, with vegetables, you can salt and pepper them. So So as a kid,
Yeah.
that's one way to stomach through what is going down.
What about mashed potatoes?
If they have gravy in them, I will do mashed potatoes, but not plain mashed potatoes.
Rice? White rice?
No, fried rice is good.
You said cauliflower's out?
No cauliflower.
Oh man, cauliflower's the bomb.
All right, so what we're discussing out there, for those of you who don't know, is I have is an affinity? Is that no? It's the opposite of that?
An aversion?
We talked about this on last week's podcast.
Did we really?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't remember that. Hey,
Yeah,
I've got to follow up to last
the
week's
hot chicken.
podcast. I still don't like white stuff.
There we go.
Okay, so you're saying Samantha has likes and dislikes.
Yeah, you want me to give you some?
I want you to give me some because I also have a very extensive list of what your kids should not be eating, and I'm going to ask you guys if they are currently eating these things.
Okay.
All right, so my list is a combination of healthy and unhealthy. I'm just going to tell you what she likes, and I'll tell you what she doesn't like.
Sure.
She likes avocado. She loves sushi. We got real lucky there.
Okay.
She'll eat sushi. Pizza, cheese only.
Obviously.
Pepperoni pizza makes her butt itch, she says. And it's the weirdest. It's the weirdest thing. It's like, I mean, from like 2 years old, she's like, no, I don't like pepperoni. It makes my butt itch.
Will
Like
she
the
eat
spiciness of pepperoni, is that what it like? She gets a like eating hot,
Maybe hot chicken?
Yeah, she's not gonna like that Bolton's thing.
Mac and cheese. She likes most fruits and vegetables. I mean, we really don't have problems there. And that's great. And I hope that doesn't change, but I think it will when she gets a little older.
How did macaroni and cheese? I feel like that's like kind of classified as a vegetable to some people, but there's nothing vegetable about it.
No, Kraft did a hell of a job when we were kids. Kraft came in. They were like, look, we want to spend all this ad money. You put it on every Saturday morning cartoon show.
And
Pump it.
everybody wants mac and cheese.
You're right.
I don't know
Yeah.
anybody who doesn't like mac and cheese.
Exactly. Dude, I went to a restaurant in Dixon yesterday, in downtown Dixon, that had mac and cheese on top of French fries.
Oh, wow.
I did not order it, but I thought about it heavily.
That's, I mean, I could say that is a universal American food is mac and cheese.
She also likes chicken nuggets. We talked about French fries, of course. We don't make them at home, but if she's out and about.
Yeah.
Scrambled eggs. She does like bacon. Cereal. We did a lot of sugary cereal.
Cereal's a tough one, man. There's so many bad cereals.
Right. So we've gotten her back. So we've kind of outlawed the bad stuff, and now we're just back on to Cheerios, which we.
Cereals have so much added sugar.
Right.
And it's like refined, like the bad sugar. It's not like natural sugar.
That's the same as those packaging we were talking about where it says all organic or, those things.
Heart healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Healthy, organic.
Low cholesterol.
When we were kids, they told us that like Raisin Bran was like the healthy cereal, and that
Yeah.
shit is not healthy. I love Raisin Bran. I think it's great.
I do too, actually.
It's because of all the sugar. So let me go through a list really quick, and I'm going to ask you guys because this is what parents out there probably want to know is, hey, is somebody else out there feeding their children these things on a daily or weekly basis?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to have to ask you guys because I know Juicebox and Dana, you guys go way more of the healthy route. As seen yesterday when we did a dual babysitting, meaning we babysitted their child for a few hours, and then they in turn, when they got back, babysitted ours. And Juicebox and Dana bring over this Tupperware for Barrett's lunch, and it has this good-looking chicken. It's got broccoli. It's got sweet potatoes in it, and all of this looks organic and natural and prepared at home. So it comes lunchtime. We're feeding Bear. He eats all of it up. I'm not going to tell you what our kids ate. Then they went down for a nap, and then Levon gets up, and by this time we had made the switch, and we were out, and they were watching our kids. And my wife Stephanie gets a text from Dana saying, "Hey, is it okay to give Levon a Pop-Tart?" And my immediate reaction with Stephanie was like, "Well, yeah, like that's what he eats." Like, and I don't know, it's a bad comparison, but you guys are healthy. I feel like old boy, you and Stephanie kind of go middle of the road. I feel like she's the healthy one, and you're the not healthy one.
For sure. What gave it away? That burrito? I was talking about earlier? The Sour Patch Kids?
The fact that Sour Patch Kids are mentioned on every podcast that we do. Okay, so with that said, I want to go through a few of these things and see if you have in the past or are currently feeding your children any of these things, right? And these are things that we should not be feeding our children currently. Let's see. The first one, Happy Baby Superfood Puffs. I don't know what that is.
We fed our kid like puffs.
Yeah.
We
Puffs
had
are
some-
just like a thing you do when they're little because it dissolves in their mouth.
Yeah, it's like the first thing, like, and it helps them learn how to like pick up food.
Right. Yeah.
right,
We did too.
All
So
right.
is that bad?
It's bad. All right. So Goldfish.
I eat more than she does, but yes.
Yes.
We're
You're
not
not there yet.
we're not really up to. I mean, he's had goldfish a few times, like at school and stuff, I think, but we don't give. Let me say this: they probably give him goldfish at school because I know they give him junk food there, but we do.
Yeah.
We
It's
do
got to
not.
be. It's got to be bad, right?
And some of these you'll be excluded from just because
Because
of
we're
age.
yeah.
All right.
Is it bad?
It's bad. All of these are bad.
You're describing my diet.
Eggo waffles.
Yes.
For us, it's 100%.
Eggo
yes. That's still
specifically,
going on.
or
Yeah, Kellogg's Eggo waffles.
because
Yes.
we do get the frozen waffles, but they're like usually whole grain, which is probably also misleading. Like I need to look deeper into that packaging.
Yes, we
probably.
do.
Ritz Bits peanut butter cracker sandwich things.
Not as much.
No. Ketchup.
Well,
No.
yeah.
Yeah,
Of
we
course.
do ketchup. Levon has this thing where he just dips his finger into ketchup and he won't eat anything else on the plate.
Yeah, he's a kid.
Yeah, ketchup has a ton of sugar in it.
Handy Snacks premium bread stacks and cheese. I don't think we eat these anymore.
Mm.
They're the things where you had the container, it had the little cheese on the side and then little sticks on the other side.
I wanted those so bad as a kid, but my mom would never buy them. But I would just, man. So those are bad.
And here's another one that was big for us up until I'd say this year. So up until he was 8 years old, Lunchables. It could be the worst thing on the planet for children.
Those are terrible. That's another thing. God, that marketing of Lunchables brainwashed us
Right.
all.
Oh yeah,
It's like
it was
30% sodium in that.
Well, and it was just like trash. It wasn't even really that good. It's like you could get like better cheese and lunch meat, just like
Hold your tongue.
great.
I love Lunchables.
And don't you-
but no, my kid doesn't.
don't you
you're
absolutely-
confused.
Lunchables was a popular wave of a food that they introduced into the market, so much so that now we call charcuterie boards adult Lunchables. Right?
That is, man,
Isn't that crazy?
Yes.
That it's
that's crazy. Hold up, old boy. Did you eat the pizza Lunchable?
No.
I was like, I'm gonna flip this table over right now.
No, a vehement no.
Here's something I have to admit that
Oh, no.
she got home earlier with a bunch of groceries today, and there were 2 pizza Lunchables in there. Asher loves them.
What? How?
I don't know. It's like the nachos Lunchables too. I just don't get it.
Maybe he's trading them at school,
There's
for
no
baseball
microwave
cards.
at their school either. So I think if you had a pizza
Well,
Lunchable, it has to go in a microwave, right?
I don't think so. I think you're supposed to eat it cold. That was the thing that was always just disgusting to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I can eat cold pizza, but
That's not.
I've
plus,
never.
I think
eaten
if you
them.
heat up a Lunchable, it'll turn into like a different element or something. It's so processed.
Turn into the fly.
Did you always go for the Lunchable that had like the Capri Sun and the?
No. To get that. No, I didn't need the Capri Sun. I just need the damn.
I think it was
and
all about the
Oreo.
dessert for me.
Yeah,
what
there was like
Lunchable
a
I picked
candy
out.
bar or something in it.
There was a candy bar in one, but the vanilla crackers, that was the worst one. All right, so a few more. Nabisco's Teddy Grahams.
No.
Yeah, I think they give them that at school.
Yeah, and that's something we need to cover too. Barnum and Bailey's Animal Crackers.
Oh man,
Not as much.
we
She's-
don't. But man, I ate a lot of those as a kid
Yeah.
too.
Go-Gurt.
No.
The
No,
Go-Gurt
we do.
pouch, we do Go-Gurt on
Is
a
that
daily
Go-Gurt
basis.
specifically? Like
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
If it's any type of flavored yogurt, it's got a ton of sugar in it. But plain regular old yogurt is.
Yogurt is one of those weird ones. Like, yeah, you're saying Go-Gurt is bad, I guess, because it has a lot of extra sugar. But I feel like there has to be some sort of healthy yogurts, because like that was one of the things our doctor like recommend giving to our
Greek
kid, you know?
yogurt? Is that healthy yogurt?
plain-
Just because it's Greek.
I don't know.
plain-
Greek yogurt has like a ton of saturated fat in it, I think, or some kind of like it's okay for you, but not great.
All right, here's one we touched on earlier. Mott's Medley's fruit flavored snacks. Obviously, we've covered that. Here's one that I think a lot of parents out.
Is fruit by the foot on that list?
Oh, it's been on here twice. Hold on. I just didn't read it. Here's one that I think a lot of parents out there think is actually healthy for your children and is probably part of a lot of kids' diets out there right now is Honey Maid graham crackers. We have those in our house all the time. In fact, everything that I've read so far, we feed our children probably on a consistent weekly basis.
We've got a lot of that in there.
Fig Newtons.
No.
No, but I can see how those are terrible.
I think Fig Newtons died. Definitely Pop-Tarts is on here, which we have a bad problem with that. Oreos.
I feel like that's a no-brainer. If you think Oreos aren't bad for you, then you're just you got no chance.
Capri Sun, obviously. I mean, if you can't see something in a pouch, we've done that in the past with the older one. We've maybe given Levon a Capri Sun or two.
Let me jump in real quick about that. One of the studies said keep your kids away from like sugary drinks. They recommend, the American Heart Association recommends that no more than 8 ounces of sugar sweetened drink per week.
Per week?
Per week.
Oh shit, we're way off on that.
And it's like they want you to limit their diet to 25 grams of sugar per day.
Well, let me say that there are 27 grams of sugar in one High C fruit punch little square box.
I mean, yeah, exactly. That's 3 weeks worth of recommended sugar,
which is also on
drinks.
this list.
So to live healthily, it's impossible, is what you're saying.
Yeah, Gatorade is on this list.
No, I don't get Gatorade.
Orange juice, depending on like Minute Maid orange juice.
No.
Yeah.
Aunt Jemima syrup.
No.
There's a no.
I've just been saying yes to everything. Like agree with what you're saying.
Mott's applesauce.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah. Applesauce is big for kids. Kids love applesauce.
And it's bad?
It's bad. At least that kind of applesauce. Del Monte peach fruit cups.
Fuck no.
Yeah. We don't do that unless it's in gelatin, and I know that is even worse, but the kids like it.
Is Jell-O
They're
bad?
going to eat it.
Our kids love some mandarin oranges, so that's like,
You know
I
what's
know
fun?
that's got a lot of sugar
Dude,
in
I
it.
forgot all. Dude, you're right. I have to say yes. We did a lot of those.
So what's funny about this list is all of the things I've read off to you is kind of targeted towards kids. There's also a very scary thing on this list, which is Red Bull. And if I am the worst person, I will be the first to admit that I'm the worst parent out there as far as feeding children, but I would never in my right mind think of opening a Red Bull and allowing my children to drink it.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think you should be like 18 before you could consume Red Bull.
Well, I think a big thing is you should just like limit soda consumption for your kids anyway. Like,
Right.
Sure. We do
once
Sprite and that's it.
Yeah, and at least maybe not every day, or two days a week or something. Just
Yeah.
like try to keep it down, because
Christmas.
that's like the worst type of sugar. Yeah, or just wait till Christmas. That's like the worst type of sugar.
It's not easy, and it's not easy to be conscientious about what you're feeding your children. We've covered the fact that it's convenient and you do not have that much time, and by the time you go to work, get up, take the kids to school, go to work, get them from school, get them a snack when they get home, you got to start cooking dinner. Then you don't have any time for yourself, right? Once you get them to bed, you're wiped out. You maybe have 45 minutes of hangout time, unless you're a night owl.
Right.
And some nights, you have to work a little bit longer, or, you have to go to this meeting or this event for work or something like that, and you just don't have time. So, don't be afraid, because we're still here. That's how I look at it. We grew up on the shit.
I understand all that stuff you're saying, but you got to be a little bit mindful about what you're feeding your kid, because I feel like like we talked about, you're forming their eating habits for the rest of their life, and I just don't think it's fair to like teach a kid to eat junk food all the time. I'm not trying to attack you. I'm just saying in general, like I just feel like you got to be somewhat mindful on that.
Something to always keep in the back of my mind is you're not raising a kid, you're raising an adult, and the things you're teaching them, you want them to carry it on throughout life, but it's very difficult to navigate, and I get it. I'm like, dude, if you just chill for 10 minutes, I'll give you a donut. And donut, okay, and it's like, thank you.
The difference is I was at McGo's this morning getting donuts for breakfast for my family.
Dang, you should have brought some of those donuts over here.
Fuck?
Yeah. We're talking about eating healthy. You're bashing me, and then you want what I got?
Well, my kid's not here.
It's like I'm a drug dealer for sugar.
My kid like knows I have a candy problem, because like she could eat like a small piece of candy and she's good. Like Halloween, I think she's eaten 2 pieces out of her Halloween thing.
Mm-hmm. I've gone to town on Asher's basket. I hope he's not listening.
I've picked through, and I'm like, this bullshit. And but she's like, Daddy, you shouldn't eat so much candy. And I'm like, yeah.
So after every podcast, I go back home and I think about what we've talked about and what I've learned.
Do you?
And I do. Does it not seem like that?
I don't know.
I reflect, when I'm not staring at you guys. So
go back to your study.
Maybe today when I go home, I'm going to think about it. And then I'm just going to project it on these children. Hey, we're starting to eat healthy now. So I'm going to sit down some healthy foods and force them to eat it.
Try an apple.
I mean, just work it in,
By working it in, do you mean so I should take a blender and put some chocolate in it and then a bunch of vegetables and make them drink whatever comes out?
No. I think it's all intuitive. It might be difficult to make changes and make those choices, but I think really everybody knows what it takes to be healthy. I think it's physical activity and eating vegetables and food that's natural.
Yeah.
It sounds really easy, but I know it's difficult because we have outside forces that are like, eat McDonald's. It's convenient. You don't have time.
So it's getting strategic with your children, especially like somebody like me where I just want them to eat. I don't care what it is. Just eat something because I can see your ribs. And
try different foods that are healthy till they find something they like, maybe.
Okay, so we're going to have a sampling then.
Not a sampling, just try something new once a week. Hey, we're going to have...
I mean, just slowly work it in. I mean, it's not about changing it immediately. And honestly, I'm not trying to... Everybody's kid is different. Like, I can't...
Very much.
No one can give advice to anybody really about their kids. Like, they can just tell you what they've been through and what worked for them. So...
But it begins with you, parents, promoting that healthy lifestyle.
As you look me right in the eyes.
Shit. I think I probably... I eat health as an adult. I eat healthier than I ever have, but I can eat unhealthy if I want to.
Yeah,
and I have to be mindful of that too.
I can just eat anything, and I will probably
unless
die.
It's white.
I'll probably die a lot younger than you guys.
You can eat anything unless it's white.
True. Yeah.
So I guess the main thing I want people to take is like reduce your sugar intake and make sure your kids are getting exercise and going outside and doing stuff. Like those are the two biggest things that seem to be causing the most problems.
Yep.
Which directly goes back to our screens episode. So I know there's a lot of things you can do as a parent, and over the course of this podcast, we hope you've heard episodes about just our advice. You can take it. You don't have to take it. If I looked at us three, I wouldn't take it. But we are just trying to sit here and let you guys know that we have consciences and we are thinking about this constantly. And I know you are. So limit those screens, get those kids outside,
when you said that video games killed your friends.
Yep.
You were really kind of right
in
about
a way.
that.
Yeah.
I mean, they're
Slowly.
continuing to kill my friends, and now my children and my children's friends. That sounds scary, but get them outside. Like you said, get them exercise, and try to at least do something healthy. I will make the vow right now that I will attempt one healthy thing a week from here on, and I'll report back.
Cool.
Yeah, this could be our update on next week's episode, where I just come in and say, "Yep, it failed."
We had rice cakes for dinner last night.
Rice cakes.
Everybody's lost 15 pounds.
Well, we hope you enjoyed this week's episode, and we'll be back with much, much more.
Oh, yeah.
I'm excited about the next few weeks.
Watch out now.
We can't tell you what it's going to be, but I hope you're getting excited too. We are approaching, Thanksgiving. We're approaching the holidays, and we've got some really special things lined up for you.
Can we do a Thanksgiving episode that's almost just like the opposite of this episode? Like, remember all that stuff that we said you probably should avoid? Well, Thanksgiving, all bets are off.
Yeah.
We're going to give out
Thanksgiving is always an
recipes
excuse.
for candied sweet potatoes and shit.
Yeah.
Okay, you're going to need 4 cups of sugar.
We hope you're getting hungry out there. We'll see you guys next week. We hope you guys enjoyed listening. If you don't have children,
have one. Catch up.
Yeah. We want you to know what we go through.
Yeah. The fear.
Sweet 99 for all you can eat while I'ma stuff my face to a funky beat. We're gonna walk inside and guess what's up? Put the food on my plate.